Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to hashtag TNT JoeFi Tech News that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. Today is Thursday. I was like looking, I'm like, what is that? What does TH mean? Thursday, September 17th. It is 2:30 p.m. Yes, I'm super late. I apologize for that. I was working on videos. I mean, I was, but I was also dilly-dallying a little bit. I was. Anyway, welcome guys. How's it going? We have a good amount of tech stuff to talk about. Not really the most interesting, or at least for me, but I'll field topics. We'll talk about what's going on in tech for today. So I do have news on the Xperia 5 Mark II, PlayStation 5, and then I'm like looking at some of these stories. Those are really just the two big things here, but we'll talk about stuff that's going on. And I haven't really read into any of this. I don't even know what's up with this PlayStation 5, but I pulled up a few articles. I figured I'd read through it, see if you find any of it interesting, and we'll talk about it. So let me go ahead and start with chat. Zane Beg was first in here. Zane, you are the winner. Congratulations for being first. Zane says, "Sup, Jerome? Can September 30th come right now? Can't wait to watch the stream." I'm with you, Zane. What are we? 13 days. 13 days away. Are your credit cards ready? Are your credit cards ready for the Pixel 5 or the 4a 5G or whatever else they're going to be releasing? That new Chromecast, the new Nest. What else are they? Not Nest. Yeah, Nest speaker, whatever it is. Anyway, We got less than 2 weeks. So Alan Stevenson, sup, Alan. What's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you in here. Hamed is in here as well. Hello, with extra O's. What's going on, Hamed? How are you? How's it going? Nice to see you, man. Six says the PS5 pre-order was hell on earth. So I've heard, or at least I read about it. Can somebody quickly let me know, because I am not a big gamer, for this PS5 announcement? Was there an actual live stream? Did they have like a whole like kit and caboodle party kind of event for it? Because I have no idea. I don't know what was going on with that. I just know that the pre-orders were all pre-ordered out. And that's all I know. Tech to me, please, says, I feel like at a McDonald's in the 90s with this music. It's like chill music. Like, what? You don't like my music? I know. Tech to me, please. Where'd you put that? It says, just kidding, but are you? It's okay. We don't have to have the same. We don't have to have the same taste in music. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all good, man. Tech to me, please. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. And then Six double dipping in different platforms. Yo, what's going on, Six? Hamed says, finally, some love for Sony. We're going to talk about this phone because I don't know much about this phone, and I'd love to get your thoughts. Well, all of your thoughts on this Xperia 5 Mark II. I heard it's pretty expensive. I don't know how it compares to the Xperia 1 Mark II. I saw this and I was like, if the Xperia 5 Mark II is a flagship phone, why is it called the Xperia 5 Mark II? And is the Xperia 1 Mark II better? And what are with names? I think names for phones are just getting worse as time goes on. Team Varai says, I was worried there. Hi, everyone. Is it because I was late? I'm so sorry, Team Varai. I know. I was kind of dilly-dallying with stuff. I was trying to like get some stuff done here and there. And then it was kind of a... I went to go pick up an art piece today. I went to go pick up an art piece and it was like 3.5 miles away. And I went for a walk to get it. And then I was like, shit. If I walk this 3.5 miles back, that's going to be 7 miles of walking. And I took like a bird scooter home and it cost like $12. Like it shouldn't cost that much to ride a bird scooter back for 3.5 miles. Anyway, let me continue on. Deepak Murthy. Hello. What's going on, Deepak? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. William Maya's in here as well. What's up, everyone? What's going on, William? Nice to have you. Paul Hendricks with the Android stud trademarked phrase. Hi, party people. What's going on, Paul? Welcome. Six said Sony said they would give us time for pre-orders, and then bam, the pre-orders were all over the place. So was that an accident, or did they do that on purpose? What happened with that? Six says I got one on Amazon. There you go. I don't know anything about this yet. I'm gonna read it. Or read about this announcement and whatever. I wasn't going to buy a PS5 anyway. I'm more interested in the Xbox Series X because of the $300 price point. But I have another article about that as well, where we're going to compare the two, and we'll see. Levin Williams is sneaking in here. Levin, what's up, stream? What's going on, Levin? Nice to see you. Nice to have you in here. Six says the Series X is going on pre-order the 22nd of this month of September. Do I have to have my credit card ready for that too? Thanks for letting me know. Team Verizon is pretty excited for the new Sony phone. Also, Nokia announcement next week. I didn't even know that. I love that you guys keep me on my toes, letting me know something that I should be knowing. Selwonk. Selwonk, what's going on? My thoughts. Very nice, Selwonk. That's very mature of you. That's exactly what this channel needs. T-Bach Murthy says the 5 Mark II is 899 euros here in Italy. Super expensive. What is it here in the States? 950 US? I think that's what they're pricing it at. Fear the Roof 42 said I had the shakes. Is it because I wasn't on? Guys, I've been late before. Was I on that much later today? It was like half an hour. I know, that's still kind of late. Six says yes this month. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out if I really do want an Xbox Series S, if I'm gonna be throwing $300 at that thing. Zane Bag says the only reason why I'm probably going to get PS5 is Spider-Man. Really? So one game will let you spend $400? Is the game going to be is that Spider-Man game that good? It's worth that $400? Um I'm just I don't I it's been I mean like to each his own or their own. You know, I just don't know much about that game or how good it is. Hamed says, from my point of view, the Sony Xperia 5 Mark II is the quote unquote true flagship Sony phone that competes with the likes of the iPhone Pro series and the S20 lineup. It drops the 4K screen for a 120 hertz refresh rate and a 240 hertz touch scanning rate, which I don't think any phone has. I personally do believe that it deserves its high price tag. All right, then this is a great segue because we're going to take that segue and we are going to talk about the Sony Xperia 5 Mark II. This article from Gizmodo says it's a sleek. This article from Gizmodo says it's a sleek and sneakily sophisticated little phone. There are a lot of S's in there. Why is it sneakily sophisticated? What makes it? Well, that's what the article's for, right? So, following a couple years of lackluster releases, Sony's Xperia phones, there we go, have sort of flown under the radar, especially in the US, where Sony phones are typically only available unlocked and not sold through carriers. I don't have an issue with that. You want to keep selling phones unlocked? Be my guest. That's the way you should sell them. You can leave it to us to educate the audience of how to get these unlocked phones. But Sony just announced the Xperia 5 Mark II, which looks like a sleek little phone with some surprisingly beefy specs and features. All right. So a 6.1 inch 21 by 9 OLED display. So a very tall phone, 21 by 9 aspect ratio. The Xperia 5 Mark II looks to be a smaller version of the Xperia 1 Mark II. This is a smaller version. That's a very tall phone. Except that the Xperia 5 Mark II has a few new features not found on its bigger sibling. The most notable new feature is a 120 hertz refresh rate, which is a first for any Sony phone. So top of the line refresh rate when it comes to refresh rates. Sony has also increased the touch sampling rate of the Xperia 5 Mark II's display to 240 hertz. Can I ask a question here? When it comes to the touch sampling rate, how does that make the experience better? Does it mean that when my finger hits the display, it's smoother, it's quicker? Is that what we're talking about when we talk about a touch when we talk about a touch sampling rate? I think the highest that I've heard or read about was 144, or I could be wrong about that. But if anybody wants to like dig down and get into those specifics, that would help me out. I would appreciate it. Paired with the phone's game enhancer mode and Sony's new HS power control feature. What does HS stand for? Which lets you power the phone without charging battery when plugged, which is supposed to reduce heat from charging from slowing down the phone. Hold on, what? It lets you power the phone without charging the battery when plugged. Interesting. Sony says the Xperia 5 Mark II should be a powerful mobile gaming device. So are there any of you that are looking at this phone? Are there any of you that own an Xperia? Are there any of you that own an Xperia? Are there any of you that own an Xperia 1 Mark II that sees this and now they're like, oh, this is the one I should have gotten? Anyway, around back, the Xperia 5 Mark II offers three 12 megapixel rear cameras with 16 millimeter, 24 millimeter, and 70 millimeter full frame equivalent lenses that Sony says were designed to cover all the main focal lengths that photographers typically demand. Wow, that's okay. And just like Sony's class-leading mirrorless camera, the Xperia 5 Mark II also comes with real-time subject tracking, eye autofocus, and the ability to shoot continuously at up to 20 frames per second with full auto exposure and autofocus. And as another first, Sony claims the Xperia 5 Mark II is the first phone to offer support for 120 frames per second slow motion video capture at 4K with HDR. So yeah, pretty impressive specs. That's also pretty cool right here. Meanwhile, on the inside, the Xperia 5 Mark II still offers full flagship level specs, a Snap 865 chipset, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of base storage, micro SD card slot for expandable storage, and a high-res audio certified headphone jack. Headphone jack. Wow. Okay. And while Sony skipped the fancy in-screen fingerprint reader that's becoming more common on high-end phones, you still get a side-mounted fingerprint reader for easy access. I still don't know if I have been enjoying any phone that has an in-display fingerprint reader. I mean, I have it on my P40 Pro Plus, and this expensive ass phone, like the fingerprint reader is fine, but I don't know, when it comes to accuracy, when it comes to making sure my finger's where it needs to be, it's not always the most accurate. Like, at least on my Pixel 4a, I can kind of find where that like little indentation is, to unlock it, and I think that's a lot easier. Okay. So even with its smaller dimensions, the Xperia 5 Mark II also has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. It's great. So 4,000 milliamp hours for 6.1 inches, which is the same size battery Sony put in the Xperia 1 Mark II, though sadly it seems you don't get support for wireless charging. That's weird. That's weird that they're kind of like taking some good and not putting all the high-end stuff in there, but it seems very high-end. And while I won't say the phone is especially flashy, I also want to call out the Xperia 5 Mark II's design. In some ways, with its dual speakers and relatively decent sized bezels across the top and bottom of its display, when I see dual speakers, are they both front firing, or is it just the top is front firing and the bottom is, well, I guess bottom firing, right? Or are we talking about two front firing dual stereo speakers? Should have wow. I'll read into it. So the Xperia 5 Mark II is kind of a throwback to phone styling from a couple years back, actually. So them saying relatively decent sized bezels across the top and bottom is making me think it has front firing stereo speakers. Am I right? Oh, wow. It's honestly kind of refreshing. I might even call it quaint. Heck, Sony even included the dedicated side-mounted shutter button for its camera. I remember that. I used to be a big Sony person, and I remember that side-mounted shutter button, which is one feature I've always liked on Sony phones. I thought that was a clever way of integrating or making it seem more camera-like, but doesn't get a lot of love from other device makers. Okay, I see you, Sony. So while I haven't had a chance to check it out in person, the Xperia 5 Mark II is giving me the same vibes I got from last year's Xperia 1, which to me was the most underappreciated phone of 2019, and I'm sticking to it. I know there are a lot of people in here, I think, that are Sony fans, and I used to be one back in the day. I just have not dug into it. However, with the starting price of $950, the Xperia 5 Mark II definitely ain't cheap. Pre-orders for the Xperia 5 Mark II begin on September 29th, though for some reason actual shipments aren't expected to begin until December 4th. Well, that's unfortunate as well. That's such a long waiting period. Almost, what is that? The entire month of October, November, over 2 months. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. I mean, the specs do seem pretty impressive. So this is a speaker. That is definitely a speaker here. This is a front firing bottom speaker and the front firing top speaker. Am I right? Wow. I haven't seen that in a minute. That is refreshing. So I have this other article from Ars Technica just to make sure I don't miss any kind of specs that this Sony Xperia 5 Mark II has. So I'm just going to go through this real quick just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Let me look at the rest of these photos. I guess I have to bring down the, there we go. So, I mean, it's a nice looking phone. Like, obviously, it's nothing like crazy fancy or special, but for some reason, the front firing dual speakers, stereo speakers, is kind of like a big plus for me. It's a handsome looking phone. Oh, look at them touting the headphone jack right there. The fact that you can play it with a PlayStation controller is pretty cool too. It's like I see this and I'm like, oh, this would be nice if I had a PS5. That's it. That's all I got. All right. So yeah, a follow-up to the Xperia 1 Mark II released earlier this year. It's a top-tier flagship with a Snap 865, comes with a smaller screen and finally bumps the display up to a faster refresh rate. Huh. Yeah, 25 by 20, 2520 by 1080 OLED display, 120 hertz refresh rate. Snap 865, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, 4,000 milliamp hour battery, side fingerprint reader, micro SD slot for expandable storage, headphone jack, IP68 dust and water resistance, and stereo speakers. 3 12 megapixel cameras on the back, a main, a telephoto, and a wide angle, along with a time of flight sensor, and then an 8 megapixel front selfie camera. This is still weird for me. $950. Pre-order September 29th, ships to customers December 4th. So it's not even so they said it's going to cost about $950. They didn't even give a real fixed price point just yet. The Sonyest thing about this phone is that it will officially ship in the US and it supports sub 6 gigahertz 5G, but it doesn't have any 5G band compatibility in the US. 5G is apparently a Europe only thing. 5G networks in the US aren't nearly ready for prime time yet, so this is not a huge deal breaker. It's just very Sony. So at least there's a tidbit there for anybody who might be interested in this phone. Maybe if you're planning on keeping it for a longer period of time, it looks like it's not going to have the same bands, 5G bands, or at least, so it supports sub 6 gig 5G, but it doesn't have any 5G band compatibility in the US. So it won't use 5G at all in the US? Am I reading that correctly? Okay. The Xperia 1 Mark II and 5 Mark II are both genuinely handsome looking phones. That's what I said. And now that the 5 Mark II finally has a 120 hertz display, it actually feels like it's in the same league as something like a Galaxy Note 20. There's nothing Sony's latest smartphone is critically missing, but other than the headphone jack, there's not much that stands out either. For Sony Mobile, though, that's an improvement. Sony's mobile division regularly sells under 1 million units per quarter, a number some of the bigger smartphone companies can beat in a day or two. Again, I'm not too worried about sale numbers. If the phone is good, the phone is good. After lots of cost cutting, though, Sony Mobile projects it will see its first yearly profit in 4 years. Things are looking up. I mean, I'm pretty impressed reading the specs on it. I think for me, the biggest thing are the dual front firing stereo speakers. I think I'm old school when it comes to that. It's something that I loved on my Nexus 6P and on other previous phones that had that. And then they started going away from that because they started adding a bottom firing speaker instead. I'm wondering how good the cameras are, but I always wonder how good the cameras are. I've heard good things about Sony cameras. Well, we all know that Sony makes good mirrorless cameras, but I'm talking about in their camera phone department. I'm just like mentally thinking if it's something that I would spend money on, but I can't see myself spending $950 on this thing right now, especially when the Pixel's going to be coming, and I need to save up for those because I'm buying the 4A 5G and the 5. It is. It's a very interesting phone though. And I feel like this is something that so I used to really enjoy Sony phones back in the day, and I would buy the successor for each one for like 2 or 3 years. And then it's because of the small form factor. That's what I liked about it. That's why I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, like, yes, it's the tall phone. It has a very tall aspect ratio, but a 6.1 inch, I mean, this is a 5.8. I don't know. It might not be a big difference. And a 4,000 milliamp hour battery on a smaller display might not be bad at all. So, oh, I have a super chat here from Levin Williams, $1 super chat. Levin, thank you. Thank you for the support, man. As always, thank you, Levin, for supporting the channel. Appreciate it so much. I always say that. I always say the same things, but thank you, Levin. As always, I'll make sure to keep you updated on the September super chatters for this month. And then I have a new YouTube member who has been here now a couple times, Drizzy Dre Bear 85. Thank you for being a new YouTube member. For anyone in here who is a current YouTube member, can we throw some Nexus emoji for Drizzy Dre Bear? I would do it myself, but I'm not able to do so right now. Let's show him some love with a couple Nexus emoji. For anyone who's wondering, what is a YouTube member? Well, you've come to the right place. I might as well just market it. So give me 30 seconds. All right, this is what we're going to do. If you are in this channel and you have noticed people have green in their name or they have a red Chicago star next to their name, that's because they are part of the Phone Jerome fam. Don't you want to be part of the Phone Jerome fam too? That sounds very culty. I'm sorry. But you can be part of this culty Phone Jerome fam for as little as 99 cents a month. All you got to do is click that blue join button. You'll get the red Chicago star. You'll get to use custom emoji. You'll get your name in every single intro and outro of my live streams. Drizzy Dre Bear 85. Also, DM me if you want access to my private Discord. I will give you a link to that as well. Anyone who is a member will get access to my Discord. People chat in there about tech and whatever else is going on. If you can't find that blue join button, you can go to youtube.com/Phone Jerome/join. That is the 30 seconds. I don't know if that was really 30 seconds or not, but thank you for listening to me. And I know times are tough and I know people can't always afford it, and I totally get it. So if you can't, please feel free, be sure, hit the thumbs up twice. Well, I think if you hit it twice, then you remove it. So hit it once. If you're not a subscriber, I do stream weekdays at 2 p.m. Central. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification when you want to get notified when I start streaming, although it's around 2 p.m. Central weekdays. And that's it. So let me get into chat. Let's talk about this Sony Xperia 5 Mark II. I think for the title, I put in the thumbnail, the Sony Xperia 5 Mark Charles II. It sounds fancier. Okay, let me just give some visual appeal here. There we go. All right. Now let me get through chat. Okay, what did I miss? So let me scroll down. So yeah, I mean, Hamid made his point about the Xperia 5 Mark II. Ruben is in here and says, "What's up, Jerome? What up? What up, Ruben? How's it going, man? What up, phone Jerome fam? Still listening in while at work. I'm hoping the Spider-Man game comes to the PS4. Is this Spider-Man game really that good? Is it that good that it's just worth buying the console outright?" Sean is in here as well. Hey, Jerome, I'd rather take a 4K screen than 120 hertz screen. I could see that. That's fair. I'm for me, it's weird. I'm not the biggest, like, I'm not a display fanatic. I look at a 1080p display and I'm like, yeah, it's good enough, but maybe my eyes are just not the best. But yeah, I hear you on that, Sean, for sure. Hamed says, I'm considering it. However, I do think I'll just end up getting a Pixel 5 instead. You sound like me. Zane says, I remember the Sony Xperia Play thing that looked pretty sick when it came out. Yeah, what happened to that? Are they not doing that anymore? Is that something that's not around? Hamid says, I don't think in-display fingerprint readers are ready yet. No, they're not. I think the best implementation of an in-display fingerprint reader is the day I am able to put my fingerprint anywhere on the screen. Then it will unlock. Then I'll say, yeah, that was worth it. But right now, I still feel like I don't always accurately get the fingerprint in that right location, even with my $1,300 Huawei P40 Pro Plus. Team Verizon says it's 4,000 milliamp hours, IP68, dust and water resistant, 120 hertz display refresh rate, Zeiss cameras, Zeiss lenses, OLED, near stock Android, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, no notch, and not over $1,000. Oh, that's right, because they have bezels instead. If I had the cash, I'd get this one. It seems like a really decent phone. It does. How has Sony been, though, when it comes to support? Have they been updating their OSs? Like, how many years of support will a Sony phone give you today? Does anyone know? Does anyone have an older Sony phone that's gotten more than 2 years of support? Do they even offer 2 years of support? It's been a while. Yeah, Sean saying they are front firing dual speakers. That's a huge plus in my book. Deepak says, what about the cameras? Sony phones were never on top of the game, although their imaging division is a world leader. And that's something I wonder about as well. You always hear great things about Sony's alpha mirrorless cameras. Like, I hear about it all day. Everyone always talks about Sony. I'm a Canon guy. I still have my old school Canon DSLR. I have no plans on upgrading because, again, I don't know. I think for the most part, the video I take on my DSLR comes out really good. The photos I take out of there come out really good, and I just don't see a reason in upgrading just yet. But I wonder how good they are when it comes to its camera department. I really do. Okay, so let me see here. Ahmed Husamadeen is in here. Hey, Jerome, hope you're fine. I am fine. Thank you for asking. I'd rather pick a phone with top and bottom bezels like the Xperias over any punch hole, cutout, or an ugly notch. Ahmed, I'm with you on that. I think top and bottom bezels are fine if it comes with dual front firing stereo speakers. For me, I feel like that is a good reason to put bezels on the top and the bottom. And then you can also go ahead then and use that top bezel for a selfie cam. So yeah, no, I'm with you. Ahmed, welcome to the stream. And then Brian dropping by. I know Brian's at work right now. Brian, what's going on, man? Welcome. Brian with the $1 super chat. Brian, thank you. As always, Brian on his however many day streak of super chats. Brian, thank you. Thank you. That's my thank you emoji. Brian, thank you as always for the super chat, man. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Where did I leave off? Somewhere here. Here we go. Javon, right? Javon Sims. I think that's right. I know you've been in here before. I'm pretty sure I might have asked how to pronounce your name. Maybe not. I still find it amazing that game consoles are cheaper than smartphones now. Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's very true. I didn't think about that. I mean, I do think about it, but like they're way cheaper than what you can get a smartphone for. That's for sure. Sean showing some support. Smash the like button. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Deepak says, Javon, I'm also surprised. Yeah, it's not something I think about often, but it's also because consoles don't come out twice a year and there's not 18 million different companies putting out different consoles. Let me see here. Zane Beg says the HTM7, M8, M9 had some really great front firing speakers. They did. I thought that when those front firing speakers came, that they were here to stay. It's weird to see them not be here. I still feel like they can do that. I still feel like they can still continue doing those front firing stereo speakers. And it just looks like it's not the thing that they're doing anymore. Paul says mentally thinking as opposed to, I don't know. I'm ad-libbing here, Paul. Ruben says front facing stereo speakers are why I overlooked the terrible notch on my Pixel 3 XL. I mean, that's a good point for sure. Jersey Dre Bear 85 says, hell yeah, I'm a kindergarten cop. Welcome, Jersey Dre Bear. Welcome. All right. Ruben says, we aren't really a cult as long as you ignore us constantly talking about Pixel phones. Fear the Roof 42 says, wish the Sony came with a Leica lens, top of the line lens, but I think Huawei might have an exclusive Leica deal. I didn't think about that. I wasn't really aware of that either. Thank you for sharing that. Hackney Man, what's going on? What's up? My last Sony phone was the Z3, I think. That thing was sick back in the day until I dropped it. Did I have the Z3? I might have had the Z3. I cannot remember what the last Sony phone I had was. Fear the Roof 42 says, what do you think, Sony Jerome? I am not Sony Jerome. I don't even have a Sony phone. So the last PlayStation I owned was a 2. So no. that name does not apply. Amin is in the house. Hi, Jerome. How are you? I'm good, Amin. How are you? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Gandek is in here as well. Gandek, what's up, man? Sony makes the most forgettable. That is savage, Gandek. Gandek pulling no punches. Gandek, what's going on, man? Welcome. Deepak says, I really love the Z3 Compact. There you go. I think I own that. I'm pretty sure I own the Z3 Compact. I think. Sean says, for $1,000 plus phones, they better make high-end displays. I mean, you're not wrong. Sel Wong says, I think Apple patented the on-screen fingerprint anywhere recently. Did they really? If they patented it and no one else can take it, well, that's going to suck. They might as well just keep doing the rear fingerprint reader. I'm talking to you, Google. Don't get rid of the rear fingerprint reader ever. Don't get rid of it. Sean says, they said Sony is going to do 3 years of software updates now with current phones like the Xperia 1 Mark II, but they have been inconsistent with updates before. So yeah, I guess let's see where they go with that. Drizzy Dre Bear says, Xbox Series S is cheaper than EpiPens. An EpiPen's that expensive? I didn't know that. I had no idea. I mean, it's not like I buy EpiPens, but I had no idea. Wow. Artur Bogdovich. What can you say about fingerprint sensors? Which ones? The in-display ones? I don't like in-display ones. I love the rear fingerprint sensor on my Pixel 4a. I think it's one of the best. Side-mounted fingerprint sensors I've never used, but I would still prefer a rear one, I'm pretty sure, but that's what I can say about them. Artur, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you. I don't think I've seen you in here before. There you go. Javon says I pronounced your name right. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, Levin says I still have an old school Sony Z2 kicking. Yeah, I mean, why not? Although, how often do you really use it? At this point, it just probably sits in your drawer, just like a lot of my other phones do. Raf B is in the house, and once again, I am late. How are you, Jerome? I'm good. So you're not exactly that late. I'm also late. I'm only 40 minutes into this stream. I started half an hour late, so you're good. Raf B. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Continuing on. what do I have to continue on with? What is my next story here? OnePlus. Let's talk about OnePlus real quick. I'm not going to go too in depth with this, but this article from Android Police says the latest OnePlus leaks have me worried. I spent a good portion of the day yesterday talking about the OnePlus Nord N10 5G, aka the OnePlus Billy, that's coming to the US. This is not the original OnePlus Nord that the UK has, that India has, or is it the UK or parts of Europe? Yeah, I don't know exactly where the rest of the Nord like got distributed to, but the Nord N10 5G that's coming to the States is, I mean, let's face it, it's an inferior version of the OG OnePlus Nord. Now, I don't know what this article is truly about. I just saw it and I said, yeah, I'll read it. So let's read it. So, Clover and Billy need a different approach to succeed. I always feel like, I mean, this is kind of what I was saying yesterday. I just don't understand why they couldn't bring the OG Billy to the States. If they brought it to the States, they sold it for $400, it would have been a real competitor. Now that they're bringing an inferior one here, I just don't know how well it's going to compete. Now, I don't know if Android Police feels the same way or this particular author feels the same way, but let's see. OnePlus is gearing up for 2 new Nord branded phones in the US market. So if the details regarding the $200 Clover and sub $400 Billy are both true, and they probably are, then OnePlus might have a problem on its hands. While the company was once known for its massively disruptive influence in the flagship space, now it's settled comfortably into the market it once upset, and its usual strategies won't work here. The era of the OnePlus One and genuinely insane values are long over. While OnePlus still positions itself as a small but scrappy startup, now it's really just an attempt to justify its social media heavy drip-fed marketing approach. That's very well said. A point of frustration for many, but apparently successful and clearly a money saver compared to traditional marketing and advertising. Totally agree. I think OnePlus has lost their way. I really do. When I bought the OnePlus 3, that was the very first OnePlus phone I bought. I bought it for its incredible value and the fact that it was so close to stock Android, the fact that it was so well performing. I mean, it didn't have like the best camera or anything like that, but the build quality, the battery, the charging, the to charge the battery, the speed of it, all of those things were like great things that the OnePlus phone provided at a, I mean, not only competitive price, but a price that undercut flagship phones. At that price point, a lot of people were like, that's fine. The camera's good enough for me. And I like that approach. I thought it was a great approach. And then as time has gone on, they've just been upping the price and the camera's been the same. Okay, yeah, before you rage, yes, no. The camera's gotten better, but it still is not in the same league, I don't think, as premium flagship phones like the Pixel or the iPhone. And yeah, I think what they're doing now is they're trying to make multiple phones for a wider swath of people, and they've completely ignored the following that maybe tech heavy people like me and people in this chat wanted. I, like, that's the truth. In a way, it sounds like OnePlus sold out. OnePlus, I don't want to say it, but I'm pretty sure you sold out, because I don't want to buy your phones anymore. I don't want to pay $900 for a phone that I don't think is going to have the same camera experience as my Pixel or my iPhone. I mean, I don't know. I think it still succeeds in a lot of ways. It's still a well-made phone. It can be a great price if you can find it for a good deal, but I think the soul of OnePlus is no longer where it used to be. That's my opinion. Maybe they're going to do drastic things when this new UI comes out, but to see them making multiple phones at multiple prices or multiple price points and then kind of making their own UI, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I just, for people who wanted stock Android, who wanted something that maybe was cheaper and something that was competitive to the Pixel, I don't know if it's there anymore. Anyway, I know that's me ranting for a bit. While prices have risen over phone generations, one thing remains true: OnePlus still makes good phones at a pretty good price. That's kind of what I said in a more long, complicated way. They might not be the almost unbelievable deals they once were, but the company's phones also compromise a bit less when it comes to details like an IP rating or camera, and they compare very favorably to other similarly spec'd flagships. I'll say this again and again. If you could remove IP ratings, if you could remove wireless charging and provide a cheaper price, I would rather take that than pay more money, because wireless charging, IP68 dust and water resistance, build quality isn't always my top priority. if so, it's like this. I think about the Pixel, right? If OnePlus or Google could make their OnePlus phone or their Pixel phone and put a Snap 865, an 865 Plus in there, and put 6, 8, 12 gigs of RAM, put the highest end chipsets, put the best and, high end camera lenses in there, and then not give us IP68 dust and water resistance, not give us wireless charging, not give us premium build materials, and charge us less, I would take that. I think a lot of people would take that. I don't know why they don't look at that market. Do we have to see the rise of these other companies like Vivo and Realme and whatever? Because those are the companies that are providing high specs at cheaper prices, but I don't think any of them are providing stock Android. And I think that is the missing component that I would like to see. Because you can be sure that I would probably buy one of those phones in a heartbeat if I knew it came with stock Android. Okay. All right. Where did I leave off? The new Nord, though it sadly isn't available in the US, is also a pretty amazing phone. I've been using one on and off over the last month or so, and I'm terribly impressed with it and very, very jealous that we can't buy one here in the States. And I feel similarly, I do. But OnePlus's flagships are pretty easy. But OnePlus's flagships are pretty easy to market and sell. Here in the US, OnePlus has been able to pick up the carrier partnerships it needed to truly succeed, and it secured some brand recognition among the Android flagship space and the frankly quite small unlocked buying audience. But mid-range and budget phones are a very different beast in the States, and OnePlus is moving into a market where the same sorts of rules no longer apply. And if the rumored prices for these two new phones are true, especially the $200 price for Clover, or around $200, then OnePlus is targeting a tricky price point. First, you have to understand that the biggest driver of budget phones in the US is carriers. So yeah, I guess that's what they're going to try to say here is it's probably a really saturated market. And I don't know, maybe the carriers have the advantage there. I'm not really going to get into all of this. On paper, Clover still won't compete with phones that can leverage both advantages like the new Moto G Fast. Samsung's Galaxy A11 even undercuts it on price with the same sort of in-person advantages. Even if you and I know other specs favor Clover, prepaid customers aren't doing this much research. Fair point. Yeah, okay. So the rest of this article, I think, is talking about how OnePlus needs to get into the carrier stores and do whatever. Guys, this is not something that I think any of us care about. I think most of us who are in chat here, we don't go to Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile, and we don't walk in there like, what phone should I buy? Oh, this one says 5G, so that's the better one, right? Why am I talking like I'm an idiot? I'm not trying to say people who go into the stores are idiots, but just talk to us. We can help you instead. That's probably what they're trying to say here. So it says here, as far as the $400 N10 5G, I'm just trying to see if there's anything that's worthwhile talking about in the rest of this article. So, um, Apple can push a mid-range phone at that price point and succeed, but almost no one else can when costs end up amortized. I don't really, I'm not really familiar with how that works, via financing over multiple years. Oh, I see. So I guess they're saying carriers can offer what, like the $20 a month or whatever over 2 years or something like that. But it says here, the difference between 400, 600, or 800 is real, but folks pay less attention when it's just a few bucks a month. Again, even if it's great, how will OnePlus sell these phones? And again, it comes down to better marketing and in-store promotions. OnePlus will have to spend more money than it's used to. My biggest concern is that OnePlus will try to push the same approach as always, almost no advertising and months of not actually viral marketing via social media, relying on specs that won't sell in the US by themselves. Of course, it's no skin off my back if OnePlus fails, but I'd really like to see the company compete in the US across more price points. More selection is always better, and the US smartphone market feels stagnant compared to Europe and Asia, especially in the mid-range and value segments. OnePlus can succeed here, but it's going to take a thoughtful reassessment of its usual strategy. So let me let me kind of just share how I feel about this. This is the shit I hate. This is the shit I hate, because instead of providing a good product with good specs at a good price here in the US, I mean, I'm assuming it happens worldwide, but maybe more so here in the US, money is how you succeed. The more money you can pump into advertising, the more money that you can pretend that your phone is better than everyone else's, is the way that phones get sold here. Yes, Apple spends a shit ton of money on advertising, and like they have great presentations and whatever, but they also make a good product. But I just feel like in order to compete, so the article pretty much is saying like, yeah, like, hey, OnePlus, we want you to do well, but like you really got to be better about your marketing strategy. I hate that. I hate it. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish people could just come to the unbiased channels and tell you what the good deals are. The world doesn't work that way, or at least it doesn't work this way in this country. And that's why people never understand what's up with Android. I think that is one of the things that bothers me to no end, to the point where like I've given up in a lot of ways. I don't try to explain it to anyone, and I don't try to say, well, if you're planning to buy this iPhone for $1,200, why don't you take a look at, and then the answer is always like, well, Apple. And like, and there are days where I'm like, well, yeah, you're probably right. Apple's going to be the simplest, most easiest way to use your phone, but there are options, and I just feel like people are misinformed. But I think that's an issue here anyway. That's probably an issue everywhere, is misinformation. I think if anything about what I do on this channel, and it sucks because YouTube has completely taken me off their algorithm anyway, so like I don't get found by anyone hardly. I think most people who follow me, they've been here for a while, but which is fine. I appreciate the people who have stuck around, but I feel like a channel like mine would be able to share the real truth and get out of the BS that these marketing gurus think they have. Anyway, I've ranted too long. So let me go back into chat. I didn't even mean to spend that much time talking about this story. I thought, hey, I talked about this yesterday, might as well segue into it today. So, all right, let me scroll up here. Hamed says, is the new iPad Air a topic for today? It was a topic for the Apple event. I think it's a good deal. I think it's a good product. I won't say a good deal. I don't know if it's a good deal because I've never really owned tablets. The only tablet I've ever owned was the Nexus 7. That was the only tablet I ever owned. And that was when I had that tablet, I was like, this just feels like a bigger version of my Nexus phone. So I haven't bought one since. I also have a custom built PC. So I don't really, and I have a MacBook Pro. So I have no reason to have a tablet, but I think the iPad Air could be a good product for a lot of people. I think it just depends on what your use is for it. I'm not the best when it comes to that because I don't know too much about it, but it does look good. I think it's a nice looking iPad. That's all I can provide. Javon says, what do you think about the OnePlus Nord coming to the US? Samsung or Sony? Which do you prefer? So Javon, I just read this article. So I think you probably got the gist of how I feel about it. But if you want more in depth of how I feel about the OnePlus Nord, I actually clipped a video of that yesterday as well. So feel free to check that out. Samsung or Sony? Which do you prefer? I would take Sony. Over Samsung because of the UI. And I know that's a very straight answer and it's more layered than that. I think Samsung has great build quality. I think Samsung actually has decent cameras as long as they're not like the ones on the S20 Ultra that but I prefer Sony's cleaner version of Android. But that's from back in the day. I'm assuming, I think some people have mentioned that Sony still has a very clean version of Android. One of the things that bothers me about Samsung is their skin. I don't care for it, or the duplicate apps. Having the same apps that stock Android already has, like that's something that is like a point of contention for me as well. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah. So there's probably more to it, but yeah, I'm not the biggest Samsung fan. I have owned Pixels for a long time. I've owned some Samsungs, and I've tried like from the S7 all the way to the S10. No, the S7 to the S9. Those are the years I've owned them, but that's about it. Arthur says, I had an Xperia 1 Mark II. It was very terrible fingerprint sensor. Really? The side mounted one? I turned it back, I turned it back in the store. I want the Xperia 5 Mark II. And he's saying he's scared about that fingerprint reader not being good either. Yeah, that's definitely something to think about. If you've already had that experience on your Xperia 1 Mark II, maybe they haven't upgraded it for the Xperia 5 Mark II. If you get it, let me know. Let me know how your experience is with it, because I wish I could help you there, but yeah, I think for me, the best fingerprint reader is in the rear on the Pixel 4a or the Pixel 3. But yeah, those are my favorites. So Ronaldo, I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Hey, Jerome, I missed a lot of lives, but I'm here today. Welcome, Ronaldo. It's all good, man. I know we got shit to do. We got our lives to live. No big deal, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Oskin is in here as well. Hi, today. I made it to join the stream. You did. Welcome, Oskin. How you doing, man? How's it going? Welcome. Mario's in here as well. Hey, Jerome, I can't wait for September 30th. I can't wait either. Do you have your credit cards ready? I have mine ready. I'm buying everything. All of them. I'm going to buy every color. I might buy every color and just wait for whichever one comes in first and then return the rest. You're like, yeah, I got the one I wanted. Sean says OnePlus did sell out. See, I mean, I feel like I'm not the only one that feels that way. Team Verizon says, I've never owned a OnePlus phone as they were never available back in the Philippines. Now that I'm in Europe, though, I'm wondering if I should still get one. So it's a tough question, because even Deepak was asking that, because Deepak has the OnePlus Nord, and then he was like, Jerome, should I get the Pixel 4a? It's like, I don't know. Maybe you should. Why not? Yeah, that's a tough decision, Team Variety, for sure. Sean says, but OnePlus is trying to heighten their brand to stand out. Yeah, they're trying to diversify. They're trying to get a bigger audience or whatever. Doesn't change the way I feel though about a lot of that stuff, but I see what they're doing and I can understand why. Doesn't mean I agree with it though. Javon says, I'm going for the OnePlus Clover if it's $200. If it's over 230, I might as well get a Xiaomi. There you go. There you go. I wish I knew which Xiaomi to get, but I always forget because I don't have access to a lot of these phones, so I don't keep up to date. Oskin says, is the Pixel exclusives no more for Pixel users? What do you mean? What we get with the Pixel phones, like the unlimited original quality photos. Oh, and 100 gigabyte drive storage. Yeah. So we've lost a lot of stuff. People who own Pixels don't have a lot of those advantages anymore. Like things like that. Like that's something that I miss. I wish I had that still, but yeah, that's not something that's available anymore for Pixel owners. What you get from a Pixel is more in its stock Android experience. You get that stock vanilla Android. You get software updates faster than anyone else. That's really about it. And then you get, I guess, the Pixel experience, right, with the camera. Those are big pluses for a lot of people. Those are priorities for me. And even though Google hasn't been the best with a lot of their product lately, their 4a has at least redeemed it for me. This Pixel 4a, I've said it many times, is probably one of my favorite. It's probably right now, the Pixel 4a is probably the best Pixel phone that's come out. And I'm not just talking about specs, right? I'm talking about comparatively to its price, because obviously the Pixel 4 has better performing specs on here, has dust and water resistance, has wireless charging, but that $800 price point is $800. Fear the Root 42. Jerome's impression is Forrest Gump. This is a T-Mobile. I know that was I shouldn't have done. I made it seem like people who go into the stores there have no idea what's going on, but anyway. Paul says, no way. Just rooted and debloated my Poco F2, mostly Google stuff and Netflix, and installed Gravity Box. Tweak, for instance, behavior of the nav buttons. I've been saying I needed to get into modding more. It's been a while since I've done it, and I really should. Javon says, OnePlus should make the T-Mobile Metro Clover $150 and unlock version $200 with more storage. I would love that. That sounds like a great deal. Who knows what's happening with that budget, like super budget phone. That's a segment of phones I don't really get into. I would be curious how well they do though. Big House Productions though is really big into those as well. I think Team Variety is too. Those guys have vast knowledge, I think, when it comes to the budget end of phones. I don't, not as much. Oskin says, the Pixel exclusives given to your Gmail, is that what you were using before you get a Pixel device? I know, Oskin. I know there's, I'm trying to like interpret the message. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking here. You get a Pixel. I'm not. If anyone can help Oskin out, because I'm not exactly sure what he's asking. So but yeah, Paul says, for instance, long press on home for screen off. Ooh, that's a neat feature for sure. Hamid says, wait, or what did I get? Wait. Here's what no one's talking about with the iPad Air. It starts at 64 gigs. Is that what you're saying? And you need to pay $150 more to get the higher spec model, making it only $50 cheaper than the iPad Pro 128 gig. Thank you for pointing that out, Hamed. Amin says, I went in the store looking for an Android tablet and none of them appealed to me. I ended up walking out with a new laptop instead. So that's how I feel about it too, is like, do people get an iPad because they just want a bigger display to watch YouTube videos, or are people actually using it for productivity? Because if you're using it for productivity, why don't you just buy a laptop? Am I wrong in that assessment? For anyone who owns a tablet, what do you use it for? Do you use it as a media watching device, or do you use it to actually do work? I guess for me, it's like, if I want to do that, I have my phone for that. And then I have my laptop if I need like a keyboard, and then I have my PC if I'm at home. I don't, that's me though. Javon says, you're not on the algorithm because you're real. You don't overhype garbage. Thank you, Javon. Yeah, I mean, it's either that or it's because I like left YouTube for like a year and then they completely dropped me out of their algorithm. But it's okay. You know what? I feel like I've been grinding every day, even though I know this channel isn't like moving where I feel like it should be. I feel like I have a loyal bunch of people in here, and I appreciate all you guys. So thank you. I don't, Piety. You're going to have to let me know how to pronounce that. Piety. Lubers. What if you pre-ordered at Sony? Do you get an email, or I have no idea. You might want to ask somebody here in chat because I have no idea. Fear the Rue, Piety, welcome, by the way. Nice to have you on the stream if you're still in here. Fear the Rue 42 says, upset that your Cubs swept my Indians in a short 2-game series. Sorry, I know it's off topic, but had to get it off my chest. I mean, better luck next year, Cleveland. I'm sorry. Go Cubs though, right? All right. Let me get back up here. Brian says, just hide the notch at this point on the 3XL. Yeah, and that's an option you could do too. That's something that I pointed out to people in the past as well. Big House Productions is in the house. Hey, Jerome, what's good, everyone? What's going on, Big House? Nice to have you in here. Welcome to the stream. All right, let me see here. Deepak says, I decided to wait for the 30th. So not yet swipe for the 4A. Okay, there you go. The 5 will make me take a definitive decision. Good. I'm glad you've taken some time to figure out which one's going to be right for you. Okay, so let me see here. Ambet De La Rosa, welcome. How's it going, man? Hey, Jerome, big fan from the Philippines. Well, thank you. Thank you from the Philippines, especially your camera comparison videos. Thank you. Thank you so much. Currently a Pixel 3 XL user. Just want to know if you're experiencing slight blur on the camera viewfinder. So I don't have my Pixel 3 XL anymore. Brian Lau, who is he might be working still, so I don't know if he's going to see this, but he might see it later. He might be able to help you out. Maybe he'll leave a comment on the replay. But yeah, I have no idea about a slight blur or anything like that. So hopefully somebody can help you out with that. But Ambet, I'm trying to like figure out how you would say it. Ambet, I'm guessing. Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you, man. Thank you for the kind words. Okay, let me see here. Jason Lim. Jason, how's it going, man? Money is a root of all evil. I agree. Every build phones with passion for the consumers. Cheap and good then becomes greedy, and phone have little improvements with incremental upgrades over the years. Well said, Jason. I agree with a lot of it. I wish it wasn't that way, but you guys know how I feel. I bitch and moan about that kind of stuff all the time. I'm always trying to look out for the consumer and not try to get into the hype of these companies, but all of us who are here, my channel, I said this yesterday, we're all small fish in a big pond, a very big pond. Ambet says, not having the same issue with the OG Pixel and the Pixel 2. Ooh, so you've kept yours, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I'm hopefully have you tried to, I guess the simplest things is, have you tried to reset it? And if you did, have you tried to factory reset it? That's the only thing I can think of at this point. Oskin says, Pixel users don't get 100 gigs of drive storage. No, I pay for mine. I pay $20 a year. So, okay. Big House says, I see we're talking about OnePlus today. I'm at work with the OnePlus 7 Pro. Still a great buy for 2020. Still a great buy, especially if you can find it brand new for what, $400 or whatever. The 7T keeps popping up lately for $400, which is a great deal too. Oskin he really wants to know. Please share something more about what we get with Pixel phones in terms of that photos and storage stuff, Jerome. I said it, man. You get stock Android, vanilla Android. You get that experience. You get, software support quicker than anyone else. There's really not much else that you get with it. And then you get the camera experience. You don't get a bunch of other like incentives or anymore like you used to when you buy a Pixel phone. Software support might be okay with it, at least for a year for like, getting a replacement or whatever. But other than that, that's all I got for you, Oscar. Unless there's something I'm missing, then maybe chat can, kind of help you out there as well. Okay. So let me scroll down here. Oh, there you go. Paul says, no, it's Dutch. Pitya. Is that how I say it? Pitya. Ah, okay. Pitya. Got it. Hopefully I remember. Pitya. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. William Maya says, never owned a tablet because I feel like they're in a weird middle ground where it doesn't do anything particularly better than other types of devices. That's how I feel, except for drawing, which I don't do. That's also a good point. That's also something I don't do. William, thank you. That's a great point. I appreciate you pointing that out. Okay, let me see here. Oskin is just like going ham on Pixel exclusives. No YouTubers speak about the Pixel exclusives in the Pixel 4a review. So what you explained to me about that, dude, you're the only trustable person I know. Oskin, I've told you everything I've known. I love my Pixel 4a. I think it's a great experience in terms of its software, its camera, and its price, the battery. But that's it. There are no other exclusives. Google isn't giving you anything. They're not giving you free storage, unlimited photo quality. They're not giving you any of that. They're not adding anything to your Gmail. They're not like nothing. They're doing nothing else for you. All they're doing is giving you a phone and the software experience you get with that phone and the camera experience you get with it. That's it. There's nothing else they're giving you on top of it. So I hate to burst your bubble, man, but that's all you get with I still think it's a good deal. I think it's a great deal. I think it's the best phone you can buy right now for $350 US. Deepak says, Jerome, iPads are media consumption devices in my house. I can never do productivity work on iPads. I much prefer a Mac or PC. Thank you. I was just clarifying because I was wondering who else uses it for anything else. Okay, so let me see here. People are responding with the Pixel 3. So bet hopefully some of that's been helpful for you. Javon says the Sony PS5 pre-order invites are based on how many hours you've played your PS4. So basically the customers who make Sony the most money. That would be funny if that was the truth. Oskin, I feel like Oskin is just trying to figure out if the Pixel 4a is right for him. Will it be different in the USA and in India? I think they're supposedly going to be the same, I think. But don't quote me on that. I don't know that for sure. William says OnePlus employed the startup/boutique strategy, appeal to a niche group to build your brand, and then branch out to a more diverse base. Just how it goes. And you're right. It probably is just how it goes. Doesn't mean I'm happy with it. Doesn't mean I agree with it. But yeah, you're right. I was just pulling this comment up to see if you were adding on to it, but you're talking to Ted here, which by the way, hi Ted, how's it going, man? Xperia 5 Mark 1, approximately $700 now, $250 more for the Xperia 5 Mark 3. Mark 3? Mark 2. It hits all marks except for no 5G in the US. If I have the phone for 2 years, 5G could be relevant in that time frame. That's a good point. So you're right, no 5G. No 5G if you buy it and intend to use it in the US. You'll get 5G if you use it in Europe. I mean, that is a con. That's definitely a con for people who are looking for 5G in the US. Again, doesn't mean 5G is any good here today, but like Ted says, if you're planning on keeping it for 2 years, 5G might be great a year from now. In 2 years, it might be a lot better than where it is today. Definitely will be better than where it is today. Ted says tablets don't do Netflix better. Brian says no issue with my 3XL. There you go, Ambet. Hopefully you're still in here and you were able to get some info out of that. Team Verizon says, Jerome, I know a number of fellow creators who work a lot on their iPads. It's a pretty versatile device, in my opinion. I've heard that too. I've heard people edit video on their phones even. I just don't know how they're able to do it. I can't do it. Oskin says, you heard about the Realme 7 and 7 Pro. I'm sure I've covered it before, Oskin, but I don't know much about it. I don't. Yeah, you're saying name some non-Chinese phones. What to recommend? If you're looking for something that's similar to a Pixel, OnePlus. OnePlus is the phone. I mean, if you're in India, is that, yeah, because you were asking about India. What about the OnePlus Nord? I feel like the Nord is a good device. If you're looking for something that's about the similar price of a Pixel 4a, look at the OnePlus Nord. I can't hold your hand, Oskin, and tell you to get this or that. But like, if you're really considering the Pixel 4a, I think the OnePlus Nord might be up your alley. The Nord would also give you a better chipset overall too. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and let's move on. So I'm going to talk about the PS5 because I know nothing about the PS5. I don't. Oh, Oskin says OnePlus is a Chinese brand. Then Oskin, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. Oh, that's right. Because you might not. Are you not able to, or are you just not buying Chinese products? Yeah, Oskin. Okay. Let me just I get it, Oskin. You're trying to find a phone that works for you. I don't know any other phones that I can recommend that are going to be like close to stock Android. If you're just waiting for the Pixel 4a, you can't go wrong with that phone. You can't. I don't know what other phone compares for that price. That's all I got for you, buddy. I can't. We can't spend the rest of the time here going through all of that. So let me go ahead. Let's talk about the PS5. So this article from Polygon says everything we know about the PS5. I don't know how much I'm going to read into this. This is, I feel like, a very long article here. So the PS5's release date is on November 12th, 2020, which is a Thursday, 2 months from now. Less than 2 months. Yes, less than 2 months. In the US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. A global rollout in Europe, the Middle East, South America, Asia, and South Africa is planned, it looks like, the week after. And what are the hardware specs? So they're saying the PS5 is over 5.5 times as powerful as the launch model PS4 and almost 2.5 times more powerful than the PS4 Pro. The guts of the PS5 will allow the console to deliver content at resolutions as high as 8K and frame rates up to 120 frames per second. So, and all this technical jargon, apparently this is what it's going to be looking like. They're saying that the most controversial choice may be the design of the console itself. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It'll launch in 2 different models. One will come with a 4K Blu-ray drive, and then one will have no optical drive. And then accessories, I'm not going to get into all this right now. And then as far as pricing, the standard PS5 will cost $500 in the US. Is that right? Is $500? I thought I saw $400, or am I wrong here? Oh, there we go. The discless, the no optical drive, will cost $400 in the US. And then what kind of games? I guess this is the game that everyone's talking about. Actually, that looks really cool. Okay, so it'll have all of the third-party releases that you would expect. And then here's a list of it. Will it play PS4 games via backward compatibility? And then they're saying here the murkiest element of the PS5. So they're saying maybe they're not exactly sure. The latest from Sony is this: the company expects that the overwhelming majority of the PS4's library, which totals more than 4,000 games, will be playable on the PS5. Are there cross-gen games across PS4 and PS5? Maybe, but there's really no guarantee. How will PlayStation Plus work on it? costs $9.99 a month or $60 a year. That's it. This is what I really wanted to get into. This is actually interesting that it's an Android Central article. Like PS5 or Xbox is not Android Central or is not Android anything. So let me see here. Sony revealed the PS5 specs in a dry yet informative talk that was originally meant for GDC before its cancellation. What's GDC? After months of relative radio silence, Sony finally detailed the PS5 specs we've all been waiting for. Okay, so let's see how it compares to the Xbox Series X. Because I don't know. I just feel like we might as well go through it. So 8 cores, looks like the Xbox Series X on paper has a faster chipset, a faster graphics card or graphics GPU processing. So this says 256. I mean, the same amount of memory, but this is talking about a bus. This is 256-bit memory bandwidth. I can't even compare these then. Well, right here, right? No, I don't. Because it's separating. This maybe just is in more detail. Internal storage, 1 terabyte versus 825 gigabytes. So more storage on the Xbox Series X. More I/O throughput on the PS5. Yeah. So I don't really know how much better. Like, I don't know. This is why I don't talk about gaming, because I don't know shit about gaming. I don't. I'm looking forward to getting the Xbox Series S because it's $300 and I probably will use it more for casual gaming. So like, I'm not too worried about having a terabyte of storage on it or playing games in 8K. I will probably use it more for Plex to play my Blu-rays and my media, because I rip all my media and then I'll put it on a hard drive and I'll probably just throw it all on my Xbox Series S when that comes out, if I do decide to get it. What about you guys? Are any of you buying the PS5 or the Xbox at all? Is this something that, I don't know if phone guys in here, I know Six does. I don't even know if Six is in here anymore. I know Six always wants to come in to talk about video games and gaming and stuff, but I always like save it for the end because it's not really something I talk much about. I also don't know much about it. I'm also a fan of not having an optical drive because I don't like taking games in and out. I would rather, just have everything loaded onto the hard drive. But if I played video games more, if I only play one video game, I only play Rocket League, and I'll play casual games. Like if there was a new Tetris game out or something, or like a party game. Those are the only games I played. When I had the Nintendo Switch, I owned party games. I owned Overcooked, like that multiplayer game. And I'm sure that wasn't a huge game to take up space either. So it's not the biggest deal for me. Man, part of me also thinks like, if I just want to use a console for a Plex server, I should just buy an older Xbox. I don't know. But $300 isn't that bad either. So anyway, let me get back into chat here. Okay, so let me scroll up. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm looking. I'm just making sure I'm not missing parts of chat that I would. Ruben says, maybe I'm weird, but I'd prefer a 2-in-1 laptop that could still be portable and flip to a tablet to enjoy media. I mean, I don't think that's weird. I think that's a great use case for it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't watch. So when I use my laptop, it's almost always strictly for work. It's almost always because I'm working on something at like a coffee shop and nowhere else. I think that's the only time I'm ever using it. Otherwise, for me, I don't really use it for media consumption, but I totally get it. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, John's Life. What's going on, John's Life? How you doing, man? PS5 Spider-Man game looks great. Can't wait to check it out. Can I ask you guys a question? Was the Spider-Man game for PS4 was that just as good? Should I watch a let's play of that? So I even though I don't play a lot of video games, I watch a lot of people on Twitch. I watch people play video games a lot. I don't watch TV shows anymore. I don't really even watch movies anymore. I watch people play video games. I watch people play Rocket League. I watch RLCS, which is like the Rocket League Championship Series. I watch people play sandbox games like DayZ. People don't really play DayZ as much, but I still watch people play that, like open world games. And then I started watching people play Fall Guys, but then I got bored because you can only watch so much of that after a while. There you go. Ted is helping Oskin out. There are new BlackBerry phones that are only released only in India. You could pony up and get an iPhone, and if all that fails, you can get a Nokia phone. There you go. Oskin says, but after hearing about the Pixel exclusives are no more, I lost my hope. I love Pixel phones, but it's way more expensive here in India. Yeah, I mean, I think you're answering your own question. I know you're probably really debating about it, but yeah, if if it's already expensive as it is and you don't get those exclusives, maybe it's just not worth your money. And maybe you should just look and see what your other options are. Yeah, Paul's saying Oskin is really thinking of a cheap non-Chinese mobile. And I don't really have a lot of advice for you when it comes to that. So Ambet says, hey folks, anyone here own a Pixel 1 or 2 and compare it with the 3XL's viewfinder and low light? Thanks for the response. Ambet, I hope you're able to figure out your issue. Hopefully your Pixel 3 isn't broken. Hopefully not. John's Life says, can't you stream PS5 games on Android phones like Xbox? I have no idea. Yeah, Oskin says, I hate One UI because I use it and it's a very heavy OS. I'm on the same page with you. As like, it's weird because I read Oskin's comments and the more I read it, it's like, the way I read it is here's how I think Oskin is thinking. I want a Pixel because of stock Android. It sucks that it's so expensive. It sucks that they don't have the exclusives anymore. Please, somebody justify that I can still buy a Pixel and it's going to be worth my money. That is how I'm interpreting it. I feel, you know what I feel like, Oskin? I feel like if you don't get a Pixel, you might regret it later. I don't know. Okay. Ambet says, Jerome, a little off topic. Just curious why you have Arnold's emoji-esque on your previous videos. I love Arnold. Arnold's one of my favorites. I would still use him in my higher production videos. It's just I haven't made higher production videos on this channel in a while because it's very time consuming and because my videos don't get like in the algorithm and people don't really watch it as much. It takes me like 12 to 16 hours to make those camera comparison videos. And to be honest, like the money that it's just not worth it. Like I would love to do it, but like I also have to pay rent and pay bills and it's just not a good use of my time. I would love if I could do camera comparisons all day. I would. It sucks because I feel like I'm a pretty damn good camera comparison video maker. I feel like I do that really well, and it's something I enjoy a lot. And if I could do that, I would. If my job, if I could quit everything else I do, I would stream like I do now. I would make camera comparison videos. I would work on my other YouTube channel that I've been spending a lot of time on because that is actually doing really well. And that's all I do all day. I would love it. That would be great. That would be the life, but it just doesn't pay the rent. It doesn't. But yes, I love Arnold. I grew up watching Arnold. I love the Terminator series. I don't know. He's someone I grew up watching and like it just became a thing. So Ted is saying, Phone Jerome, all pre-orders for the PS5 and new NVIDIA sold out. How do you sell out a pre-order? Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about, but I don't know. I guess I didn't pull that up. But yeah, what happened with that? I heard that was such a big issue. Gonna be sad hours for gamers for the next month. Yeah, that's gonna suck. Um, yeah, what's up with that? Pre-orders, wow. I don't know. That sucks. Time to buy an Xbox? Maybe. Okay, so let me see here. Oskin says, "Hey Jerome, you should make a live intel for Tiger Lake. I don't know enough about it. I know IT stuff, but I've been so out of that game, Oskin. I don't remember it like I used to. I'm also not as interested as I used to be. That might come back, but like right now, my time and focus is on other things, and that's also why like my channel went from Jerome Ortega to just now Phone Jerome because it's like I really enjoy phones. I love talking about them. And it's usually what I spend the most of my time on. But maybe one day, maybe one day. Okay, Team Verizon says, Jerome, speaking about video games, Nintendo officially ended production of the 3DS. That's what I saw an article that said that, and it said, long live the Switch. But yeah, I read about that. RIP 3DS, RIP. Deepak says, I hardly get much time nowadays for gaming. I prefer playing the piano or watch a film. There you go. I wish I could just do something more productive, like play the piano, but I usually spend about like 20, 30 minutes a day playing Rocket League. That's, I don't know. It's something I play at least 1 or 2 games a day just to like get that itch out. And then that's it. So, Ernie is in the building. Ernie, what's going on? Hey, what's up? Just stopping in on my lunch break. Mr. Last to the chat is here. No problem, Ernie. Welcome. Yeah. And by the way, it's like almost 4 p.m. right now. We are in TNT Joe-Fi Live or TNT Joe-Fi OT. I'm just in here hanging out at this point. I'm done reading stories. I don't know. Maybe like it's weird because there are days where I'm like, yeah, I'll just talk with chat, see what's going on. It's always nice to like talk with you guys and see what's up. Fear the Roo says, what watch are you rocking? I've had this watch for like 8, 9, 10 years. This is an old school. This is an old school Casio, like digital watch. I also have a gold one of this, but I don't know where I put it. I might have lost it when I transitioned from California to Chicago. But the gold one I really liked. But this silver one is good too. It's so funny. This is a $20 watch or however much I spent on it. And I've never even had to change the battery. Like the time's been like legit on it for a while. But yeah, that's what I'm rocking. A Casio. Did I say that? It's like an 8 or 9 or 10-year-old Casio. I've had it for a while. Big DKB 420. What's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. I'm playing Spider-Man on my PS4 Pro while listening to the stream. Beautiful game. Well, Big DKB, thank you for listening. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So let me scroll down here. Fear the Roo, Pixel Jerome had returned. Yes, all is right with the world. Oskin says, Jerome, what's your Instagram ID? You can find me on Instagram at Phone Jerome. So I also have a Twitter. If any of you guys are interested, you can check me out there as well. I do, for anyone that is interested, I do. Oh, actually, let me bring this up. So for anyone that's wondering, I post my photos that I take with my Pixel 4a on my Instagram. So if you are interested, check my Instagram out because that's where I post a ton of my photos for my Pixel 4a. But while we're on the subject, let me show you guys something. I want to show you, why am I not logged in? Okay, so anyway, hold on. Let me share my screen here real quick. So these are pictures that I've taken. This was taken with the Pixel 4a. This was with the 4a. All of these with the 4a. Even this with the 4a. These are great shots I've taken. Here's one photo I took in particular with the 4a. Do you notice here there's a comment on here? God damn it. I can't. Oh, there we go. My password. Somebody tried logging in. Anyway, so check this out, right? I posted this picture of my 4A and there was a comment. Do you want to know who left this comment? Look who left a comment for my photo of the Pixel 4a. Google did. How cool. We love the style of that art. Google, thank you. Google Pixel specifically. Thank you for commenting on the lovely picture that I took. Google Pixel, can I ask you a question? Why did you stop giving me Pixel phones? Why? You can reply and you can see that like I'm tagging Team Pixel. I'm doing everything you're asking, but you're not gonna like hook me up with a Pixel. Look at all of these photos I've taken with the Pixel 4a, Pixel 4a, Pixel 4a. And are these not great shots of the Pixel 4a? Here we go. That's what I meant to show. Pixel 4a, Pixel 4a. Wait, was that the Pixel 4a? Yes, it was. Pixel 4a. Google, I am like one of the biggest Pixel fans in the world, and you are completely look at this night shot. I am like your best marketer. Look, not only look at this shot was like re-uploaded on IGR Chicago, which has like 35,000 followers. They posted this photo because they liked it so much. They posted, let me get to that real quick. If I can do this right. Yeah, IGR Chicago posted this. They have 35,000 followers. 35,000. They posted my picture here by Phone Jerome. Look, it got almost 400 likes. Google, why am I not worthy of a Pixel phone? What did I do to you guys? Do you guys not like me? Did I hurt your feelings because I'm honest about when it comes to the Pixel phones? The Pixel 4a has been my daily driver. Google, listen, I'm talking to you right now, Google. I'm talking to you. The Pixel 4a is my daily driver. I don't even carry two phones on me anymore, even though I have two phones with two lines on them. The iPhone 11 Pro is my other phone. That has another SIM card in it, but this is the only phone I'm carrying. Google, listen to me. I have this $1,300 phone. I have even your Pixel 4, which sucks when it comes to battery. But listen, the 4a is a great phone for $350. Google, hear me out. Hear me out. I know you are probably giving people the 4a 5G and the Pixel 5. They probably have it already, don't they? Don't they? Why? What did I do? Google, listen to me. I just need you. Send me the 4a 5G. Send me the Pixel 5. We can forget all of this ever happened. Look back in your past. Look for Phone Jerome. You gave me the Pixel 3. You gave it to me. Yes, the screen went green, and I bitched about it because if a display goes green, we got a problem. We got to talk about it. And like, I'm not going to pretend that it didn't happen because it happened. But other than that, I love the 4a. But you know what? You want to give me a Pixel phone? That's on you. That's on you. I'm talking to you like a girlfriend that decided to break up with me. Your loss. Your loss, Google. All right. That's my ploy. They're not going to listen to me. They don't give a fuck. I just demonetized myself. All right, guys. Let me go into chat before we kind of like close this off. Guys, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. It's been fun. Okay, let me scroll down here. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking. Team Verizon, Zingle all the way. Okay. Will's here too. What happened to Pixel exclusive features? You know, Google doesn't care. This is why Google doesn't give me phones. Deepak says, I really like Casio, Seiko, and Citizen watches. I do too. I love Seiko watches too. I love Japanese watches a lot. Oskin says, is that your personal account? It is. That's my personal account. Jerome asked for the Pixel exclusives. They're not going to listen to me. They don't listen to me. See, Jerome, they are watching. No, they just saw the hashtag and they're like, oh, that's a good shot. Let's talk about it. Ted says, It's because you don't do the camera comparisons anymore. Bullshit. Bullshit. I did them. I did it with the Pixel 4. I did a bunch of them, a ton of them. They didn't give me anything. They didn't give me anything. Yeah. Amin says MKBHD probably has been using the Pixel 5 for 2 weeks by now. For sure. Definitely for sure. Javier, what the hell did I miss? You gotta watch the replay, buddy. You gotta watch the replay. What's going on, Javier? Nice to have you. Fear the Roof 42 says, Jerome, it's okay to be blacklisted. It's all good. Signed, Charlie. You know what? William says too much talking about upgrading the camera tech made Google salty. maybe they did. Here's the thing is like I will never stop being who I am. I will never like kiss any company's ass because they don't care. But the way I feel about it is I have to pay these phones out of pocket. I pay for this stuff out of pocket. It's expensive. Like I freelance for work. You guys know this. I don't have a full-time job. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm making enough money to pay rent next month. That's how my life is. So when I talk about buying the 4A 5G or buying the 5, that's coming straight out of my wallet. It would be great. I think the way I speak of Google and like the way I'm very unbiased about it, I think is a great, genuine approach that I feel like companies should rally around. I feel like it's important that there are people who are saying things that need to be said. And it really is. I feel like that's why I don't know, whatever. It's fine. I'm not going to like, I feel like I've been crying over the same spilled milk every day. John's Life says, would you ever consider a smartwatch? I have an Apple Watch Series 3. I guess you can tell how much I care about smartwatches. I actually considered the Series 6 that just came out, but I'm not paying that much money. That's so expensive for a smartwatch. Yeah, I have a Series 3 and it's great. And I got it at a great deal for like $229 for the 42 millimeter model, the bigger model. But I don't know. I don't like that it doesn't have an always on display. Kind of bothers me. So, and I kind of like the retro look. Yeah. So anyway, okay. Let me see. I think I'm just like looking at chat, but I think I'm good. I think we spent a lot of time today, guys. It is past 4 p.m. Really quick before I leave, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't had a chance to hit that thumbs up button, hit that thumbs up button. I do stream weekdays at 2 p.m. Central. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider being a subscriber. Help support the Phone Jerome fam. It's free to do, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. Either way, I do appreciate it. For everybody today who sent super chats, thank you for the support. Thank you for always supporting. It means so much to me. It helps offset costs and it helps encourage me to keep doing what I'm doing. And last but not least, for all my patrons, all my YouTube members, thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for supporting me regularly. I'm sometimes still shocked that even though YouTube is not putting me in its algorithm and like I don't get the same views as I used to, like I love doing what I do and I'll never change that. And I'll never get rid of this channel. As much as they want to like blacklist or whatever or like keep me out of that algorithm, that's fine. I'm still, if I have to do this show by myself, I'm just going to sit here and talk about tech and do it myself. But for the people that do watch and follow, thank you so much. Your support, like it means the world to me. It really does. Some days I wake up and I'm like, man, I can't believe that people join, like, and also for Drizzy Dre Bear who joined and was a YouTube member today. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot. And Jason Lim with a $5 a Singaporean I forget, with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Report an issue or send feedback to Google. To complain unless you're MKBHD. I'll have to look into that. I don't know how I'm going to fall back into the good graces of an algorithm, but I'm not too worried about it. The numbers have seemed to creep up a bit, but like every day I lose subscribers. I lose more subscribers than I gain. I lose about 15 to 20 subscribers and gain about like 2 to 3 subscribers a day, if that. Some days I don't gain any. That's just how it is. But Jason Lim, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'll make sure to add you into the September, or at least put you on wherever you belong on the totem pole for September super chatters. But Jason, thank you so much, man. Thank you for that feedback as well. I'll have to take a look and see if there's anything else I can do about that. But with that being said, guys, I will be done for today, but come back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central. We'll do it all over again. We'll have more tech to talk about, and hopefully no, that's it. You guys know what to expect. You know how these shows go. And I think the more I do it, the better I get at it. And it's always great to talk to everybody. And I feel like we're a big family community. And that's something that like no one's going to take away from us. And that's not, yeah, I got your back, bros. All right, guys, music's playing. I'm out of here. Have a good one. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.